नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम् तन्तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरून् सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अध्याय 2 श्लोक 45। त्रैगुण्यविषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्। भाष्य। We have seen up to निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन। Now निर्द्वन्द्वः। निर्द्वन्द्वः सुखदुःख हेतु सप्रतिपक्षौ पदार्थौ द्वन्द्वशब्दवाच्यौ ततो निर्गतः निर्द्वन्द्वो भव। निर्द्वन्द्वः निर्गतः द्वन्द्वात् निर्द्वन्द्वः। One who is free from dvandva, one who has transcended dvandva is called nirdvandvaha. It is an upapada it is a pradi tatpurusha samasa. Nirgataha dvandvat nirdvandvaha. Bhashyakara gives the meaning of dvandva. What is dvandva? Sukha dukha hetu sapratipakshau padarthau dvandva shabdavachyau. Dvandva refers to a pair of opposites. Sukha dukha hetu, a pair of opposites which are responsible for sukha and dukkha respectively. In the pair of opposites, one will cause sukha, whereas the other will cause dukkha. That kind of pair is called dvandva. And the two things are mutually opposite. Sapratipakshau, a pair of mutually opposite entities, a pair of mutually opposite principles in which both of them, one of them will cause sukha and one of them will cause dukkha. Sukha dukkha hetu padarthau. and they are sapratipaksho. Sapratipaksho means paraspara virodhinau ityartha. They are mutually opposite. For example, Shita and Ushna, heat and cold, Mana and Apamana, honor and dishonor, gain and loss, Labha and Nashta, Vriddhi and Kshaya. There are many such pairs of opposites. And one of them causes sukha, whereas the other causes dukkha. Ultimately, these pairs of opposites cause sukha and dukkha. The one that causes sukha, we like, and the other that causes dukkha, we hate. Therefore, we have ragadvesha with respect to sukha and dukkha, as well as the dvandvas that cause sukha and dukkha. We have ragadvesha. We like one of them and we hate another. When there is a dvandva, there is a ragadvesha. Likes and dislikes. And most often we act according to our likes and dislikes. We work to gain what we like, and we work to avoid what we don't like. Our activities are governed by our likes and dislikes. And the likes and dislikes are associated with dvandva, the pairs of opposites. If our actions are guided by likes and dislikes, we cannot do swadharma. Swadharma is not possible for a person governed by likes and dislikes. Because most often our dharma may not be in alignment with what we like to do. We may not like it, but it may be our dharma. As in the case of Arjuna. He does not like it, but it is his dharma to fight the war. Whereas on some occasions, we may like to do it, but it is adharma. Therefore, if an individual is under the spell of dvandvas, if he is a slave of dvandvas, he has compulsive likes and dislikes associated with the dvandvas, then he cannot perform swadharma. Therefore, Krishna says, do not yield to the dvandva. Do not be a slave of dvandva. Instead, your dharma the right and wrong, the values of dharma, they should be held high against likes and dislikes, against the dvandvas. One's likes and dislikes should be subservient to the values of dharma. Therefore, nirdvandvo bhava, tato nirgataha nirdvandvo bhava. Tvam nityasattvasthaha sada sattvagunashrito bhava. Tvam nityasattvastho bhava. Nityasattvastha means one who takes to sattva always. Sada sattvagunashritaha, always holding on to sattvaguna. How can one hold on to sattvaguna always? Holding on to sattvaguna means cultivating the sattvika tendencies. Sattvaguna karyabhuta dhairyadi yukto bhava ityarthaha. Sattvaguna karya, the effects of sattvaguna are certain qualities that are desirable in the pursuit of moksha. Sattvika tendencies like jnana, vairagya, mumukshutva, amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, all the noble qualities that are mentioned in our shastras, they are sattvaguna karya. They are visible in a person when sattvaguna increases. Therefore, cultivate the qualities that are sattvika. तथा निर्योगक्षेमः अनुपात्तस्य उपादानं योगः उपात्तस्य रक्षणं क्षेमः योगक्षेमप्रधानस्य श्रेयसि प्रवृत्तिः दुष्करा इत्यतः निर्योगक्षेमो भव तथा निर्योगक्षेमः तथा also in addition to the previous qualities niryogakshemah, be free from yogakshema. Bhashyakara defines yoga and kshema. Anupattasya upadanam yogaha. Receiving something that one does not have. Anupattasya. What one does not have. What one has not accomplished. Upadanam, gaining it, accomplishing it, is called yoga. One does not have money and he gains money. It is yoga. One does not have house and he gets a house with effort. It is yoga. Upattasya rakshanam kshemaha. Protecting what one has is called kshemaha. Protecting the one that you have already gained, that you have already accomplished, is called kshemaha. The life of an ordinary person is filled with the pursuit of yoga and kshema. I have to gain new things and I have to save what I have gained. Yoga and kshema. All business is yoga and kshema. All that we do in our business or in the career, it is yoga and kshema. I have to gain something and I have to protect what I have gained. When the mind is busy with yoga and kshema, then one cannot focus on the pursuit of moksha. Therefore, Yogakshema Pradhanasya, one who is committed to Yogakshema, Yogakshema is his priority. Then Shreyasi Pravrittihi Dushkara. It is difficult to engage in Shreyas. It is difficult to pursue moksha. Shreyasi pravrittihi. The pursuit of moksha is dushkara, difficult to accomplish. Iti ataha niryogakshemo bhava. Therefore, be free from yogakshema. Don't think of yogakshema. If one is busy with yogakshema, if one's mind is oriented towards yogakshema, then even swadharma is not possible. Always he thinks what I can gain. I don't have this, I have to gain this. That is his priority. Then he cannot perform swadharma, because in every action he thinks, what will I gain? If we keep thinking, what will I gain? Swadharma anusthana is not possible. For performing swadharma, one should think what I can give, what I can contribute. That is when swadharma is possible. What can I do for others? What can I do for my country? What can I do for the society? What can I do for my family? What can I do for the other people in the ashram? If you think so, then swadharma is possible. Therefore, engaging in yoga, what will I gain? If that is my thought, I will not perform swadharma. Likewise, kshema. If my mind is engaged in kshema, always, I don't want to lose what I have. Even then, swadharma is not possible. The Shastra says you have to give dhanam, shraddhaya deyam, but I don't want to lose what I have. My concern is kshema. I want to protect what I have. Then I will give only 10 rupees or 1 rupee, 2 rupees, even if I have to do dana. I cannot give a substantial portion of my possession. Therefore, when someone is concerned about yogakshema, he cannot perform swadharma. He will only perform kamya karma. Even if he performs swadharma, it will only be kamya karma. He cannot do nishkama karma. Therefore, karma yoga is not possible when yogakshema is my concern. Therefore, Krishna says, niryogakshemo bhava. Give up the concern for your yogakshema. Cultivate dependence on Ishvara. That is how one can be free from the concern for yogakshema. Cultivate dependence on Ishvara and then perform your swadharma as an offering to Ishvara. See, yogakshema pradhanasya shreyasi pravrittihi dushkara ityataha. Because of this reason, niryogakshemo bhava. Be free from yogakshema. Atmavan apramattascha bhava. Atmavan. Atmavan means prashastaha atma manaha yasya saha atmavan. One who has a good atma. In this context, atma means mind. One who has a proper mind, he is called atmavan. Bhashyakara gives the meaning of atmavan as apramattaha. Apramattaha means one who does not do pramada. He does not remain careless about his kartavya. And being careless, he does not compromise with dharma. Pramada means being careless and indifferent to one's values, to one's duties. Apramattaha means not being careless and not being indifferent to what one is supposed to do. Apramattascha bhava. Eshaha tava upadeshaha swadharmam anutishthataha. Bhagavan Bhashyakara adds, this is Upadesha for you. O Arjuna, this is the instruction for you. Swadharmam anutishtataha, for performing your swadharma. Karma yoga involves performance of swadharma, and the swadharma should be performed with the proper attitude. And to perform swadharma with the proper attitude, one should cultivate certain qualities in oneself. And this shloka gives some of those qualities that a karma yogi should cultivate to perform his swadharma. Therefore, Krishna gives this Upadesha to Arjuna for performing his swadharma. यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. This is a very important shloka in this chapter. For performing karma yoga, one should set moksha as one's goal. To set moksha as one's goal, one should be aware of the greatness of moksha. How moksha is greater than other purusharthas. How moksha is the greatest purushartha. How moksha surpasses other purusharthas. It is explained with an example. Bhagavan takes the example of smaller water bodies and the ocean. There are many smaller water bodies like well, lake, etc. Then there is ocean, sea, samudra, where there is abundance of water. In the smaller water bodies, there is only limited water. The water is limited, and at any time the water may get exhausted also. Sometimes there is water, sometimes there is no water. Whereas in the ocean, there is abundance of water. And the water is always there. it does not get dried up. Ocean does not get dried up. The other Purusharthas, all other Purusharthas are like the limited water bodies. They give limited happiness, limited satisfaction for a while, then they dry up. Whereas moksha is like the ocean, where there is abundance of happiness, abundance of satisfaction that never dries up. It is permanent, eternal. Therefore, when people find moksha, all other purusharthas become redundant. Just like when we find an ocean of water, all smaller water bodies become redundant, because the purpose that the smaller water bodies serve, it is served by the ocean to a greater extent. The purpose of the smaller water bodies is included in the purpose served by the ocean. Therefore, once you find the ocean, you don't need the smaller water bodies. Likewise, when you find moksha, when you get moksha, all other purusharthas become redundant. That is how moksha purushartha surpasses all other purusharthas. See the verse. The first half is the example, drishtanta, and the second half is the darshtanta. Udapani yavan arthaha. Udapana means a small water body. Udakam piyate asmin iti udapanam. A small water body which serves the purpose of drinking water, from which people drink water, is called udapana. Udapani yavan arthaha. Yavan arthaha. As much purpose is served in an udapana, as much purpose one finds in a small water body. The amount of purpose that a small water body serves, sarvatas samplutodake tavan arthaha. Sarvatas samplutodake, according to Anandagiri, it means ocean. sea, samudra, sarvatah samplutam vyaptam udakam yasmin tat sarvatah samplutodakam. Where water is everywhere, sarvatah samplutam, water is everywhere. In which body of water? Means ocean. It is full of water, abundance of water. Sarvatas samplutodake tavan arthaha. Tavan, that much, that extent of purpose is served by an ocean. The purpose that Udapana serves is served by the ocean also. Means the purpose that the ocean serves includes the purpose served by the smaller water bodies. And Bhashyakara will say, many water bodies. The purpose that you get accomplished by going to many water bodies, all those are served by one ocean. Therefore, when you find ocean, all the smaller water bodies become redundant. Likewise, sarveshu vedeshu, in all Vedas, Vedas refer to the portion of Veda or the statements of Veda which give kamya karma. The Karma Kanda portion of the Vedas, they do not talk about moksha. They talk about other purusharthas. Dharma, artha and kama. The Veda directly gives dharma, but the dharma is meant for artha and kama. Mainly kama. That is why kamatmana swargaparaha we have seen earlier. So sarveshu vedeshu stands for other three purusharthas. Yavan arthaha, as much purpose they serve, other three purusharthas. Vijanatah brahmanasya, a brahmana, brahmana means brahmajnani, brahmano brahmavedanat, who is a vijanatah, who has attained the jnana. Tavan arthaha, he gets that much purpose. As much purpose is served by the Vedas, the karmas of the Veda, means the other three purusharthas. All those purpose is included, they are accomplished by a Brahmana, a jnani, with his knowledge itself, without going through all those karmas and without going to all those purusharthas. We will see the connection in the Bhashya. सर्वेषु वेदोक्तेषु कर्मसु यानि अनन्तानि फलानि तानि न अपेक्षन्ते चेत् किमर्थं तानि ईश्वराय इति अनुष्ठीयन्ते इति उच्यते। शृणु। The topic of this portion of Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga. And Karma Yoga involves performing the karmas as Nishkama Karma without material objective. To perform Nishkama Karma, one should be a mumukshu. One should know that one's goal is moksha. Previously, in Shloka 45, Bhagavan discouraged Arjuna to performing Kamya Karma or Sakama Karma by saying Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunnyo Bhavarjuna. Nistraigunnyo Bhava implies do not perform the karma for accomplishing the material objectives, including Swarga. In other words, give up Sakama Karma. It was the instruction in the previous shloka. It also implies that you should perform the karma for getting moksha, as a means of moksha, for getting chitta shuddhi. Then naturally Arjuna will ask the question, if I should not perform karma for material objectives, then why should I perform karma for getting moksha? Is it that moksha is superior to the material objectives, the material ends? Then Bhagavan has to show that the moksha is superior to the other purusharthas. That is why he presents this shloka to convey the greatness of moksha and thereby encourage Arjuna to perform Nishkama Karma as a means to attain moksha. Sarveshu Vedokteshu Karmasu Yani Anantani Phalani. Sarveshu Vedokteshu Karmasu. In all the karmas that are enjoined in the Veda, Yani Anantani Phalani. There are Anantani Phalani. Countless number of results. Each karma in the Veda is meant for one or another result, like Swarga, Pashu, Putra, ityadi. Anantani Phalani. Innumerable number of results are mentioned as a result of this karma. Tani na apekshante chet. if they are not expected, किमर्थम तानि ईश्वराय इति अनुष्ठीयन्ते, then why the same karmas should be performed Ishvaraya iti, for the sake of Ishvara? Why the same karma should be performed iti? This question arises. Then uchyate, it is being said, it is being answered. This question is being answered. Shranu, please listen. Bhagavan tells Arjuna, and Bhashyakara puts it into Bhagavan's mouth. Yatha loke koopa-tadagadi anekasminnudapane parichchinnodake yavan yavat parimanaha snanapanadihi arthaha phalam prayojanam saha sarvaha arthaha sarvatas samplutodake tavaneva sampadyate tatra antarbhavati ityarthaha. Yatha indicates that it is example, drishtanta. The first half is drishtanta. Loke, in the world, a drishtanta is a loka prasiddha, something that is well known in the world. Koopa-tadagadi anekasmin udapani. There are many udapanas. Anekasmin udapani. Many small water bodies like a koopa, well, tadaga, lake, pond, pool, and so on and so on. Parichchinnodake, and all these are parichchinnodaka. They have limited amount of water, limited quantity of water. Yavan is equal to yavat parimanaha. Vatup pratyaya. Vatup pratyaya is in the sense of parimana. Yat plus vatup becomes yavan. Yavat. In masculine it is yavan. Yavan means yavat parimanaha. As much quantity of purpose. The quantity of purpose is given. Yavan qualifies arthaha. Arthaha means purpose. As much purpose is served. What are the purposes? Snanapanadihi arthaha. The purposes like snanam, bath, and panam, drinking. Adi means irrigation, and so on and so on. Arthaha is equal to phalam, is equal to prayojanam, purpose. Artha does not mean meaning here. Artha means prayojanam, phalam, purpose. Saha sarvaha arthaha, all that purpose. Sarvatas samplutodake tavan eva sampadyate. In a sarvatas samplutodaka, in one ocean, tavan eva sampadyate, is accomplished to that much extent. Tavan eva sampadyate. All that is accomplished in a sarvata samplutodaka. Means tatra antarbhavati ityarthaha. It is included in the purpose of an ocean. The purpose served by many water bodies with limited water is included in the purpose served by one single ocean. एवं तावान तावत् परिमाणः एव संपद्यते सर्वेषु वेदेषु वेदोक्तेषु कर्मसु यः अर्थः यत् कर्मफलं सः अर्थः ब्राह्मणस्य सन्यासिनः परमार्थतत्त्वं विजानतः यः अर्थः विज्ञानफलं सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदकस्थानीयं तस्मिन् तावानेव सम्पद्यते तत्र एव अंतर्भवति इत्यर्थः. एवं indicates that it is darshtanta, it is the exemplified. Tavan is equal to tavat parimanah eva sampadyate. All that purpose is accomplished. It will connect later on in the sentence. Sarveshu Vedeshu, in all Vedas, and Veda stands for Vedokteshu Karmasu, the karmas that are enjoined by the Vedas. Yaha Arthaha, the purpose that is served by the karmas enjoined by the Vedas. And it is karma phalam, yat karma phalam, the result of karma. All the other three purusharthas are accomplished by means of karma. And among them, the greatest of the three purusharthas, the greatest form of material gain, is accomplished by means of the Vedokta karma. And the greatest possible material goal is Swarga, etc. Therefore, Vedokteshu karmasu yaha arthaha includes all other three purusharthas. Yat karma phalam, all karma phala include other three purusharthas. Other three purusharthas fall in the domain of karma phala. Saha arthaha, all that artha, all that purpose, the purpose of karma phala. Brahmanasya is equal to sannyasinaha. Brahmana does not mean varna here. Brahmana is used in a different sense. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. One who knows Brahman is called Brahmana, and he is a sannyasi. Brahmana means a sannyasi. A Brahmajnani is a sannyasi because jnana and karma cannot coexist. Therefore, a jnani should have given up all the karma. To signify that, Bhashyakara says sannyasina. He interprets the word Brahmana as sannyasi. Paramartha tattvam vijanataha. Who knows the Paramartha tattva. Vijanataha is there in the Moola. Bhashyakara adds Paramartha tattvam vijanataha. One who knows Paramartha tattva. One who knows the absolute truth. Yaha arthaha. The purpose that he attains. And it is nothing but Vijnana phalam. It is the phala of Atmajnana. Jnana phala, which is nothing but moksha. And moksha is sarvatas samplutodakasthaniyam. Moksha is compared to ocean. Sarvatas samplutodaka in the example. Tasmin tavan eva sampadyate. See, tavan eva sampadyate, he brings and connects here. Tasmin tavan eva sampadyate. All that purpose, all the purpose of the karmas are included in the jnana phala. Means tatraiva antarbhavati ityarthaha. It is included in that. Karma phalam vijnana phale antarbhavati ityarthaha. The karma phala is included in jnana phala. Therefore, when there is jnana, all karma becomes redundant. That is the greatness of jnana phala, which is nothing but moksha. Therefore, Bhagavan advises Arjuna to pursue moksha instead of wasting away his effort in other pursuits. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.